Hey, welcome back to Good Day Today. Coming up on 8 o'clock this morning, you know, the Me Too movement has encouraged women of all backgrounds, men of all backgrounds, to speak out about sexual violence and harassment. But with workplaces being a melting pot of generations and cultures, working relationships can be a little bit challenging. So our etiquette expert, Rosalinda Randall, is back to help us navigate through the workday. Good morning. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning.
So this has sparked a lot of discussion at work and outside of work. But when you're at work, hopefully you're there mostly to focus on your job, but then discussions come up. People are unsure about what to say, what not to say. So we thought we'd kind of break down some of the points of view people might be coming from. All right, so the first one would be cultural attitudes.
Well, I believe, and I've talked to him coming from raised in a kind of a traditional Hispanic, even though I was in this country, there are certain things that are more accepting, you know, a flirtation or a compliment from a man to a woman isn't outrageous, and we know that the intention is just, I guess I want to say, part of the culture. It isn't something that I would find, or many women coming from other cultures would find offensive. So there's that. And I know like Catherine Deneuve and a few other French women got in big trouble for saying, get over it, like, come on. So, but there is, you know, there are, to me, there are flippant remarks and little annoyances, versus sexual harassment. You know, I've been trained in sexual harassment. It's very different. Now, if you don't like something someone says, then instead of, you know, rushing to HR like many people do, clarify it. Because if that particular man also comes from a different culture where that's something that they're trying to be nice to give you a compliment, because I did go through all this trouble, you know, it's okay to receive a compliment, but if I'm not the type that wants that, clarify and just say, I'd prefer you not address anything
make it clear.
about me.
Exactly.
Yeah, so the cultural thing, it goes both ways.
And then there's definitely generational attitudes, right? A lot of older, our parents and things don't understand why it's such a big deal, that things that might upset younger generations.
Well, not so far your parents, but my generation, giving myself away a little bit, is it was very common. Pardon me. I mean, one time I lost a job because of that. But I believe that in that generation, it was just, well, we move on. Like, okay, whatever. We don't want to waste our time, I guess, dealing with that. So you just find another job or ignore a lot of it. I'm not saying that's right. But there is something that I personally find a little more forgiving if it's, again, a flippant remark or, you know, just some off-color joke. It's like, whatever, let me go on. You just told me a little bit about yourself. Now I know. Yeah,
if it keeps happening over and over, right, it's something
we're going to have a problem
understand now. Generational attitudes. And last but not least, quickly, if people with some there are extreme attitudes out there.
Yes, on both sides, really. You know, women who, and not just the Me Too movement or sexual harassment, but people who are trying to find something wrong, something they can latch onto and get upset over. The Me Too movement is one of them. And then on the other side, for men, now HR departments are having a hard time not knowing, because men are trying to avoid women, changing even relationships that used to be very familiar and you joke. Now you don't know, especially if that woman says, you know, oh, I just marched in the Me Too movement and all that. That's going to be a red flag. Not that there could be a problem, but I don't want to make it a problem. So now it's causing, you know, lack of productivity. If it's going to affect production or the job because men are afraid to speak to women, or lumping them all, like all you women are this, and just like women, I know a couple of them lumping all men, like you're all like that.
All right, some things to think about where people might be coming from, at least as the discussion evolves where you work. She'll be back next hour. We'll talk about dating in the workplace these days, maybe a little bit more complicated. All right, more Good Day coming up at the top of the hour.